What's up, guys? Our Wrestling Podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious, along with Jess the Total Package, Craig the British Bulldog, the Nature Boy Joe, and Cuz is off this week, bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Can someone feed me today's topic?
Upon the examination of the galaxies of space, images begin. Powerful Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior prepare to explode. It's the Ultimate Challenge. It's WrestleMania.
Title
versus title.
I miss the old WrestleMania music. I loved it.
Yeah.
Down.
So WrestleMania 6, let's get into it. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts, or watch our videos on YouTube
WrestleMania 6.
at our wrestling channel. On social media, can you do us a solid and give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019, or on Facebook Meta at Our Wrestling Podcast. So now that nobody knows where to find us, all right, April 1st, 1990. In Toronto, Ontario, Canada, at the Sky Dome, attendance was 67,000.
Oh, it wasn't Ontario, California?
Yeah.
I see. I did not know that. I thought that was Ontario.
Right in our backyard. Disputed attendance, obviously, and the tagline was the Ultimate Challenge. Our commentators are Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura. Interviewers are Mean Gene Okerlund and Sean Mooney. And our ring announcer is Howard the Finkel. Jess. Who are our title holders coming into the pay-per-view? And can you give us some WCW title holders?
So real quick before I do that, what you just said was Gorilla Monsoon, Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura were the commentators. I think that made up, we say we go back and we look and the match quality wasn't, what we wanted it to be going back and watching this. But a real big reason as to why is because Monsoon and Ventura told the entire story for 3 hours on every match. And they were so good at what they did. And really commentating was so important back here and move stuff along. Now you rely on high spots and WrestleMania moments and all that stuff. And we really, I guess Michael Cole still calls some shit here and there. And I don't even know. They have 19 people in the booth most of the time at WrestleMania now. But back here it was Monsoon and it was Ventura. And they literally told you the story from beginning to end, from the first minute to on the third hour. And that's
you hit him in the solar plexus, Jess.
So over on WCW land, the NWA heavyweight champion was Ric Flair. The United States champion was Lex Luger. The television champion was Arn Anderson. And the tag team champions were the Steiner brothers. Coming into this pay-per-view on the WWF land, the world heavyweight champion was Hulk Hogan. The intercontinental champion was the Ultimate Warrior. And the World Wrestling Federation tag team champions were the Colossal Connection, Andre the Giant, and Haku.
We get the awesome Canadian national anthem sung by Robert Goulet, which the crowd was not too happy about at first. Like, who the heck is this guy?
What? He fucking got them off their asses like Tito.
He kind of killed it, right?
By the time Goulet was done, they were on board. I was like, good 180 by Robert Goulet.
And then I love this match. I love the flow that they used to with this. The moment here that I'm going to talk about gets me nostalgic every time. It's after they do the national anthem and they cut, as Ventura and Monsoon are welcoming you in and talking to you, the entrance music of one of the first guys from the opening match is playing in the background. So it's like they had no downtime. They were just like,
they were just going.
Go. Welcome everyone to Bird. Like, and it was just, I was like, I miss it so much.
It was to the moment, like we've got 3 hours and 17 minutes on the pay-per-view channel.
We have to get everybody in. We have to go.
And they emulated a sporting event. It was all like everything that's happening in this arena is what you need to see right now. There's no backstage skits. There's no, thank God, there's no backstage skits. It's all just fucking go. It's payoff of all these feuds you've been investing in for months.
I'm going to read this and you tell me what's wrong with it because it looked wrong to me. But Rick Martel defeats Coco Beware in 3 minutes and 51 seconds I think some of that's wrong. You tell me what that is. And it's a grade C for me. Not the best opener ever. Lots of downtime. It didn't set my heart on fire. It was an okay match. What do you got there, Jess?
I gave it a C. For the time period that we're talking about, it was a fine opener, I guess. It was a normal WrestleMania opener back then.
You have to agree that match was not just under 4 minutes. It felt way longer than that.
This match I thought it was way longer. Like Rick Martel tried for the Boston Crab about 72 times.
I think it's a typo, to be honest with you.
He's got him. Oh, there it is. Unless Coco can reach the ropes here, forgot about it.
The winner of this contest, Rick the Model Martel.
What a very impressive victory for the model, Rick Martel. Boy, and rightly deserved too. Coco made a mistake, just went to the well one too many times, I think.
Yeah, and then
There's
I saw
no way
3
it was
minutes,
3
51
minutes.
seconds. So I was like, Jesus, it seems like so much longer.
It had to be like 20 minutes. That's what it felt like.
I think it was more like 10 or 11, but it felt like 20. And there's a typo. Like I don't
think it was that long. I don't think it was that long. I think maybe it was like 6 minutes.
Something. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. So you gave it a C. Craig, what do you got?
I give it a C. I think all these times are warped in our memories because it takes so fucking long for the goddamn cart to come out.
And
then
the
go
carts.
back
We
and
forgot to
pick
talk
the
about
other
the
guy.
carts. So yeah, when you hear the wrestler's second verse of their theme songs, that's not normal. Like,
not normal.
Normally we hear like the first like 20 seconds of every wrestler's theme music over and over again because that's how long it normally takes them to walk down. But when we're hearing the third verse of Bird, 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 like on a different turn, I'm like, Jesus Christ, get him to the ring. My God.
I gave the match a C. The part that I thought was the most entertaining was that when Coco gets flipped over the top rope, he almost knocks over the bird.
Yes.
And then he like he gets flipped over and like he comes within like centimeters of fucking knocking over the bird. And then he's like, oh shit.
In live television.
Did I kill the bird?
Like
did I kill the bird?
goes
No,
flying.
shit. Oh,
The
okay,
feathers
it's
go
okay,
flying.
it's okay.
And I don't know if
You know,
anybody noticed, but that bird looks sick. Like it was not well.
Well, apparently,
He's like, fuck him, I got 5 of them.
Too much
Well, he
travel.
travels
He
with
dies, he
it. He
dies.
stuffs the bird in his suitcase, Dave, every time he fucking travels.
That
Would
would
you
make
or
sense.
just
That
shoves him in
makes
his
way more
bird
sense.
bag.
That bird looked like Demolition, match number 2 versus the Colossal Connection for the WWF Tag Team Championship. Demolition reclaimed the Tag Team Championships in 9 minutes and 30 seconds. I gave it a C+, and it's because of Andre, and I know, look, it's not Andre's fault. And I love the ending. Demolition gets a huge pop for it, and they're 3-time champions, and it's history. I get all that. But it's just so hard to watch Andre try to do anything in there, even to interfere. It's so difficult. The ending really saves it. It would have been less if it wasn't such a great ending by Demolition, saving the day. And
Trying to free the giant. Can he make it in time?
Look at Andre, he's tied up, he can't get there. There it is. Over for the cover. It's over.
New tag team champions. The winner of this bout and new World Wrestling Federation tag team champions, Demolition.
They have done it, axe and smash.
What did you call it earlier, Gorilla?
It's repeated.
really crushing Haku. Haku's just an animal, by the way. Can we just say that guy is? He was working the entire time, like just doing a great job. You know?
Like that's his wrestling noise.
Oh,
He goes, and he does all his moves.
yeah. When they're stretching him, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got, Jess?
And now,
I give it. You're copying my test paper, and I want you to stop because I
Okay.
gave it a C+ as well. So we need to be split up and not sit next to each other.
Technically, when I go first, you're copying me. So
I tried to turn it around on you, and you got me on that
fucking
one.
fired. Podcast wars.
And we wrote the
Podcast
same thing
wars.
too. I love pops, and the pop that Demolition got at the end, good God, like it was.
Crowd loved him,
It was
bro.
even a
They
shitty
loved
demolition device, like the demolition decapitator or whatever they call it. Like they took it really easy on Haku because mainly
yeah,
Haku
it wasn't
destroyed
that
them in the
good.
back of
It wasn't well done. That was not.
and, like,
not a
but the
prelim
crowd-
decapitator at all.
When they hit 3, like all 67,000 people were. It was amazing. It was an amazing sight. Like it was really great. And they won the tag titles for the 3rd times, tying the Wild Samoans. The record has, of course, been since blown away, 20 times over.
It's a big deal here, though.
Yeah,
Age
but here it
Outlaws?
was a big deal
Who
for
has it?
Demolition to win the title for the third times, and like the crowd went crazy. I really liked when Axe was walking down and he was like, "We're number one," and then Monsoon's like, "You are number one." It just like was cool, and I was like, "This is all awesome. Like this is great." You know, as a fan, I think this was vindication in the sense that the Road Warriors would come in the promotion not 3 months later, and for ever since Demolition was formed, it was like, you're Road Warrior wannabes. And this pop, I'm like, really? Like they kind of proved that. And can we be honest? I love the Road Warriors because they were together for like over 20 years. Demolition was only together for 3.5, by the way, total. And they held the title 3 times. And they dominated the tag team division in only 3.5 years. And they were champions more often than not, by the way, in that whole time as well.
I'll do more generous as a B- because only because of the Andre moment at the end. The Demolition pop was awesome, but what was also very awesome was, yes, it was sad. Yes, you knew in the beginning. I knew like when Andre threw Axe out and then didn't follow him out. And we all know the story of Andre doesn't like to be, don't take me outside. I don't want to go outside. He can't go outside. He can barely get through the ropes to get on the tag rope. But that pop for Andre and this little moment for him at the end, I kind of smiled and I enjoyed it.
What do you got, Joe?
Yeah.
I actually gave it a B. Not for the match itself, but for all of the things surrounding the match, which we've already kind of talked about. Like the Demolition pop, I think not only their entrance pop, but the pop when they win the match is awesome. Like, I mean, it's just like, it's over the top. I want to feel some sort of emotion in it. And I definitely that's why I gave it a B. I felt emotion in it. Like I felt the Demolition pop on the beginning and the end. I felt emotion on the Andre turn. It was brilliant. It was set up perfectly. It was sold perfectly.
All right. So Mean Gene is with Earthquake and Jimmy Hart with a nice little interview that wasn't that nice, which takes us to match number 3, which is Earthquake with Jimmy Hart defeating Hercules in 4 minutes and 52 seconds. Look, man, I gave it a C+. Earthquake was way better than anybody ever thought he was. Earthquake was really good in there. And Earthquake could really hurt you if he wanted to, but he's probably one of the best workers in the business as a big man. People kind of forget it. And what I would say is, even though it's WrestleMania, the match did what it needed to do. It basically increases Earthquake's undefeated streak going into eventually, I think, taking on someone as big as Hogan. I can't remember when he lost the undefeated streak, but it was kind of a big deal. They're building up Earthquake here pretty much, and Hercules is unfortunately just an afterthought. So give it a C+.
Oh, building is rumbling now. And the Earthquake is setting him up. Look out. Bombs away. Forget about it. And Earthquake remains undefeated in the World Wrestling Federation. And he made it look easy. Earthquake.
What do you got, Joe? Start with you.
I gave it a C. I appreciated seeing that Hercules took a huge step forward in his career by going to the tanning salon and finally getting some a little bit of color. Like for years and years of looking like the precursor to Sheamus.
Yeah, to
and
Sheamus.
just being butt ass white, butt naked white.
Craig.
I give it a C also. You're in trouble when already in the ring and Hercules barely got out of the cart in the very beginning. Fun fact for everyone listening out there and watching on YouTube, we always thought that Dave reminded us most of Hercules because the way his kind of body and the way he walked, he was kind of buff and had a Hercules look.
Thanks, man.
So I still, to this day, Hercules reminds me of Dave.
No, I agree with everyone's grade. I gave it a C as well. Both guys are no longer with us, sadly. On that note, Dave, going on the next match.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Jimmy Hart's still here, but that's it. All right. So we get a lovely interview with the lovely Miss Elizabeth saying, I don't know.
Boring.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm here.
Sean
Boring.
Mooney also interviews Brutus Beefcake.
Also
and then we
boring.
get match number 4. Brutus Beefcake takes out Mr. Perfect with Genius in a singles match in 7 minutes and 48 seconds. I gave it a B. I was having a lot of fun here for the finish and stuff too.
What?
I know you got to hear me out. It's not because of who won. Let's just make that really clear. I'm not a Brutus fan. I just love Mr. Perfect. I think this is another kind of like,
It's fair.
hey, you know what's
That's
going to
fair.
happen here? I'm going to be like a Shawn Michaels, and I'm gonna bump around because fuck you. I shouldn't lose this match to fucking Brutus. And Brutus hits it with one right hand, and he flops around the ring, and I'm laughing at Mr. Perfect so much the entire time. It was my favorite match so far, just because of Mr. Perfect. I had a good time. It was fun for me, so I gave it a B.
I gave it a C+ as well. And yes, he should have lost to Brutus because Brutus was over, and that's Mr. Perfect's job.
I don't
So
agree.
we all forget that heels are supposed to bump around and make the good guys look good, and the good guys that are over who get massive cheers. Nobody can deny that from '88 to the time he got in the Peril-Stan accident, that
you
Beefcake
can't
was
tell
over
me
as
that
shit.
Perfect was exaggerating a little bit here.
Oh, there it is. Beautiful double leg pickup. And a slingshot. Oh, he hit the post. Perfect hit the post. Rammed right into the steel post. He went all the way over the buckle and hit the post. I think he's knocked himself out. It's all over. Just like that. Brutus the Barber.
Oh no, I'm sure he was. Like
He's
I'm
like,
sure he
"Fuck
was.
you,
Like,
This is
but I mean,
bullshit.
that's perfect on every match. Like, but he should lose. That's what his job is. And he actually lost his undefeated streak before this pay-per-view.
Yeah,
even
he
though they
wasn't
were
even undefeated
advertising it.
anymore. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he got defeated by Hogan and Warrior on house shows / TV tapings on the way to WrestleMania. So he'd already lost it. So if you saw any of those TV tapings, not only did you see him lose finally for the first time, but you also knew that, well, Beefcake's probably going to beat him at this point. I thought the finish was flat, which is the only reason why I didn't give it a B-. A slingshot into the post, like, come on.
Terrible.
Like,
All right,
ahead.
I'm gonna give the match a C-. One because Beefcake wins, which I think automatically is a C-.
See, me and Joe agree. We just disagree on the grade.
Two, perfect sells like Michaels does the Hogan in WrestleMania.
That's what
in
I-
SummerSlam, like
what I'm
whatever.
saying.
I totally 100 agree with that. It's like you want me to lose the Who? Anyways,
Yeah.
it's a fucking
Joe,
C-.
I'm with
whatever.
you. I'm with you, Joe.
It's a C-.
I gave it a C myself, and I knew that it was fucked up. And Beefcake messes up in the first 10 seconds when he hesitates on a shoulder charge in the corner
huge.
with him, and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Fucking A!" And so at that point, you're like, you're watching.
You're gonna win
Perfect
and you're gonna
sell
fuck
for
up.
him.
All right, moving this along. It just needs to be discussed briefly. There was a match that was removed from Peacock on the network here.
what? Come on,
For,
man.
come on. For Bad News Brown
Hey man,
versus
you're
Rowdy Piper.
taking away my match.
All I have to say is that you could do things then that you can't do now, and we will leave it there. I don't know how much we should really discuss. Way to
Come
say
on,
that.
man. And both
Come
guys
on.
are gone. Both guys are gone. Both Bad News Brown and Roddy Piper are not with us anymore.
Sorry.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
We get a wonderful WrestleMania 7 promo for the Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles,
What
California.
an event that was. I will
That
never
never
forget the sight of
happened.
100,000 people to see Hogan and Slaughter. Go on, Dave. Next.
Yeah, it was going to be beautiful. But hey,
I'll be right back.
the
I'll be right
war
back.
happened. There were security issues. We had to take it to a smaller venue. That's the
Sure.
excuse. Okay.
And nothing to do
Yeah,
with ticket
definitely.
sales.
Match number 5. The Hart Foundation defeats the Bolsheviks in 19 seconds. You don't get a grade for that. Jess, what do you got?
No grade. That's stupid. Why even have this on pay-per-view? It's stupid. Just to establish that
No
the Hearts
grade.
were number 1 contenders, like, dumb.
Yeah. Joe.
Dumb.
Craig.
No grade, but it was cute to see like Bret Hart's awareness of the cameras when he said 2, 3 to the different cameras that got him.
And beat up on defenseless people. I can't believe it. Look at this. It's over. Oh, beautiful job by the Hitman. 2, 3. It's all over. That could be a record. Here are your winners. Oh, they didn't waste any time at all. Well, what do you expect? They back jumped them.
Good job, Bret.
But
You're gonna
even
be a
that,
star,
though,
buddy.
let
No
me
grade.
just say that I truly believe that they thought the reaction would be bigger because Brett's Canadian.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I really believe
Oh,
that
yeah.
they thought when they booked this, I really thought that when they
Yes.
booked this, that people would remember that Brett's Canadian. So, oh my God, they beat him in 19 seconds. I believe they thought it was going to get like a demolition-like response, and it did not. And
It did
just-
not.
Oh,
Like, it was-
that is a great point. They yes,
That's what it is.
and they did
That's
not.
why
Yeah.
they booked it. Yeah.
Because for the match itself, I remember, as we're watching it was like, why is this even here? Why is it?
You want to know why? Because
scoop my
you want to know why? Do you want to know
Yes.
why? Because Brett's always been his biggest fan. Go on, Dave.
Oh,
Match number 6. Oh, sorry.
As great as he is.
Craig did score it. Got
very
it.
true.
Match
very
number
true.
6, the Barbarian defeats Tito Santana in 4 minutes and 33 seconds. My main question is why? It's a D+ for me. I don't even know what purpose it serves. Jess just talked about the faces are supposed to win. Why does Tito get crapped on at every pay-per-view that I watch? I don't understand it. Tito looks great here. There's no reason for the Barbarian to even...
He's a goddamn former 2-time Intercontinental Champion and a former tag champion, and they just literally, okay, not literally, they figuratively urinate on him like every time in this match. He's just,
at least you know the difference. You're not the average
yeah,
wrestler.
I had to correct myself. I did go to grade school. So they had Martel and Santana on the same card. Pay off the feud that you never paid off on pay-per-view between Tito Santana and Rick Martel, which they scheduled for SummerSlam 90 3.5 months after this. And Martel got injured and couldn't make the card. So they had to put Santana with somebody else. So they had a chance here at WrestleMania 6 to pay off the feud from the WrestleMania 5 where Martel walked out on Santana and turned heel, and they never had a pay-per-view payoff, and they fucking didn't do it here.
So
But
it's
speaking of putting things on there, like, why are we doing this? Are you done wasting time? We get playback on the Brother Love segment with Sapphire and Dusty and Macho Man.
Oh, jeez.
Sherry's getting involved on a Saturday Night Main Event stuff. Which was the same year. It's just so annoying. Why are we getting all this playback on a match that just doesn't matter? And it's this match, mixed tag team match, Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire with Miss Elizabeth defeated Randy Savage and Queen Sherry in 7 minutes and 52 seconds. Wow. I give it a D. 3 of the 4 performers are way better than this. And you know which one I'm talking about is not worthy of any of this.
Savage.
Dusty.
Yeah, exactly. I am just so annoyed.
Sherry.
So it's a D. What do you got, Joe?
I thought you were very generous with your grade, Dave.
You get it worse.
I give it an F+. I give it an F+. Not even an F. Like, I'm not gonna say it's terrible, but like I give it an F+ because if it had just been a match between Dusty and Savage, which would have made more sense, then that match would have probably been a C+, B-.
Sure.
Maybe
They did great work together.
But the fact that you got to put the other, like, you could have just left Sherry and Sapphire out on the outside of the ring, and they could have interfered, and they could have had their
got into a squirm.
they could have had their comedic relief. They could have had like squabbles and interaction or whatever without including them in the match. Including them in the match just makes it absolutely terrible. Terrible.
Because Sapphire is not trained to do the work. I mean, she's just not.
Exactly.
I give it a D. The only note that I will add is I chuckled to myself when Elizabeth was announced and she came down on the card. I imagined, like, what would have happened if someone just fucking hit her with a soda? Like Miss Elizabeth, like the national treasure, the first lady, and someone like hit a popcorn bucket or a soda
love Elizabeth.
right in her fucking face as she's coming down.
I think if somebody hit Elizabeth with a soda can or a battery, I think that person would get killed like right on sight. Like,
but it would have
swear.
ruined the entire. I would laugh so fucking hard. Like, in 2022, someone would be like, "Fuck you, bitch," and like threw a soda right at her.
Some angry kid
it was a different
world.
time back then. She was universally beloved, but like I just thought of that, and I laughed so hard. That's all my only note.
Sure, because you got Elizabeth. Look at this. Right over the back of Sapphire. 1, 2. That's no more. They got it.
Jess?
So you all are gonna hate me.
Oh no.
I give this a C+.
It's okay.
I loved it, actually. I can't say it's like a B or an A because like it wasn't like a workers match. This is the same formula from Sapphire and Mark Merrill against Goldust and Luna that we reviewed last week or the week before. Like it's the celebrity formula mixed tag or the celebrity formula tag team match where they all covered, because they're all 3 pros. Sherry, Savage, and Dusty are 3 pros. And they did the silly bump spots where, like, Rhodes grabbed Sherry and then threw Sherry into Savage, and Savage bumped everywhere. It was super entertaining. And it was hype. This is one of the marquee matches going into this WrestleMania. They hyped the shit out of it. And it was just you can get mad that Rhodes and Savage weren't put together in a one-on-one, and I get that. I totally understand that. But you had the handicap of Sapphire and Elizabeth for the most part, because Elizabeth's only good when she's with Savage. That was the whole dynamic of Savage and Elizabeth. Was Savage was either trying to keep people away from Elizabeth because he's a smarmy heel, or he was trying to hold the ropes for her and let everybody praise her when he was a face. So apart, they didn't really work out well, and I get why they separated them, and they're trying to gain heat that way. Macho Man was the best king ever. Can we just agree on that? Because he was great. Just him and Sherry dressing and getting carried down to the ring, and like nobody embraced that shit gimmick more than Macho Man did, because he's fantastic.
Did a good job with it. Match number 8, the Orient Express, Sato and Tanaka defeats the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty in 7 minutes, 31 seconds. It's a count out F because I can't stand it. That's all I got.
Nice, not for a title.
It doesn't matter. Like, that's the whole point. Then what are you protecting?
Stop it, Dave. We have had this conversation before. I have held
it's
you to your standard.
WrestleMania. And it's not even that good, and he wins by count out. It's
all right, I'll give you
stupid.
that. I'll give you that.
What do you got, Jess? What do you grade it?
Stop right now.
Did you give it an A, Jess? Did you give it an A+? What'd you give it?
Yeah, I gave it no, fucker. So imagine. So this is why I gave this match a C+, because imagine the agent comes into you, the Orient Express and the Rockers, who are two very talented tag teams, by the way.
Sure.
They really are. And you're going to give 7 minutes, 38 seconds, which is decent. It's not, it's not great, but these guys can go 20 if they wanted to in house shows and probably tear the house down. And then you get told on top of that you're going to get 7 minutes, 38 seconds of WrestleMania, and you're going to lose by count out. And for no reason. It's not a title match. We're not trying to protect the champions by having them lose by count out and them not losing the titles, because you can't lose titles that way. We're just going to have a regular old tag match end by count out. And then Fuji's going to throw the mysterious salt in Marty Jannetty's eyes. And I give him credit. He fucking sells it like a pro, wanders over and walks over the rail, trips over the rail into the front row.
That's a great move.
I thought
That's
it
a great
Oh, it
moment.
was awesome. No, I gave this match a B-. I thought that when I initially rewatching it, seeing the entrances, I was like, Orient Express and the Rockers, like, you gotta be kidding me. And then I watched it, and it was like, this is actually the flow of the match was good. Like, moves were good, everything was crisp. It was way better than I thought it was gonna be. Like watching the selling of Jannetty with the salt, I thought was spot on, and then Michaels was great.
Match number 9, Jim Duggan.
Great F.
F.
It's all
Great
pushed to
F.
Earthquake. I graded it a little bit better, but yeah, we can F it and move on.
I was
the
embarrassed by the
$1 Million
wrestling
Man
match.
and Jake the Snake get a nice little playback. They're building the storyline here. We get match number 10, $1 Million Man versus Jake the Snake Roberts for the $1 Million title belt. By the way, did you all know that if you lost by countout with this as a non-sanctioned belt, you could still lose the $1 Million title? Pretty sure that was explicitly said by
that is
our
specific.
commentators.
Jack Tunney has explained that to you many times, Dave, over the years.
Yeah, you should know that.
fucking-
You should know that. If you didn't know that, that's on
wrong?
you. So just letting you know.
Only outside the ring. He hit the post there, Jess. I couldn't tell. Look at this. DiBiase's back inside. That's it. That's it. DiBiase retains the $1 million belt.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this bout as a result of a countdown, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Well, both men hit the post, Jess, but Jake the Snake didn't have anybody out there like Virgil to help him.
Ted DiBiase beats Jake Roberts by countout in 11 minutes and 50 seconds. I enjoyed this match. I give it a B+. But whatever.
I gave it a
Craig,
B. I gave
I'm
it.
gonna
Oh,
go.
sorry.
Yes, B-. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You're in.
I gave it a B-. I thought it was a solid match, which is expected from these guys. So that's why I didn't give it a B+, because I felt with the ending, I was like, Like, why can't DiBiase just cheat? Like, he's not a big enough star at this point. I'm not saying he's like world champion status, but like DiBiase can't cheat. I mean, Honky Tonk Man
That's Ted
beat
DiBiase.
Jake.
Watch your mouth.
Honky Tonk
God.
Man beat Jake at WrestleMania 3 with his feet on the ropes. Honky, before he was IC champion. You can't let DiBiase go over with some bullshit that Virgil grabbed his leg or something, or Jake goes to grab the snake and Virgil grabs the other end of the bag and they tug of war it, and then DiBiase gets $1 Million Dream on him and beats him that way. Why can't we do that? Why do we have to do a fucking count out? It makes no sense.
I just don't know why Jake wants to matches at some pay-per-views. It drives me crazy. Jake's
and the promo, by the way, before this match by Jake Roberts was fucking very Jake Roberts-y, which means it's fantastic.
It's perfect. He's the best. He's great. If he's not one of the best, he's the best promo work guys in the business.
That the money you grovel for is your very own. A victim of your own greed, wallowing in the muck of avarice.
Longfellow couldn't have said it better.
You should be teaching people how to do it. Go, Joe. Sorry.
No. I'm gonna give this match despite the count out aspect of it, I'm gonna give it a B+. I thought the match was like good, solid.
Joe, right?
I'm gonna say it was just good, solid, like late 80s, early 90s, like heel versus face work.
I give it a solid B. Second best match of the night. Jake is at his absolute kind of peak, both promo and conditioning here. Like, there's just nothing better. DiBiase is fantastic, always has been.
And match number 11, the Big Boss Man defeats Akeem in 1:49. It's a D+ at best. I feel like we're making up time.
Straight D. We can skip it. Straight D, everybody.
Here's the question.
I say D.
Here's the question.
I think Bossman saying, "I'm proud to be an American," really needs to be emphasized.
Can I ask something? Can I just ask
proud
something?
to be an American.
Oh, ducked underneath that one, Akeem did. Oh, but he didn't miss that move. He knocked the wind out of him. It's over. Unbelievable. Hey, wait a minute now. Slickay's got nothing. Wouldn't surprise me if he conjured something up with $1 Million Man.
So I had to rewind it back because I forgot this shit happened. And I rewound back at the end of the Jake and DiBiase match. And when Jake is chasing Virgil out, that's when DiBiase goes boop and hides under the ring. So when Boss Man comes out and he gets ready to fight Akeem, DiBiase comes out from under the ring and attacks him and gets revenge on him. Because the whole storyline leading up to this was the reason why the Twin Towers split up was because DiBiase hired Boss Man to steal the $1 Million belt back from Jake, who stole it from DiBiase. And then when DiBiase said some heely shit, Boss Man's like, I'm nobody's slave, and I'm nobody's this, and I'm nobody's that. So I'm going to give it. I'm not going to steal. I don't know what he said. He also turned face saying, I'm not going to steal something or whatever. It's Jake's property, so I'm going to give it back to Jake because Jake took it from you. Now you go get it or something like that. Something weird. So then DiBiase got pissed. So they didn't capitalize on the feud. So they just split up Akeem and the Boss Man. DiBiase finished his feud with Jake, and then DiBiase came out and got revenge on the Boss Man, which I thought was a nice touch.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's all. That's all fine. But I'm going to give you another thing here, real quick. If you're going to give him 1:49 because you're running low on time, because I really believe that happened here. This match was probably going to go longer.
No, I really believe that's all Akeem could go. But go on, Dave.
No, that's not true. Okay, so here's the deal. So I get a minute 49 seconds for a match.
Let's get it over with and move on.
I'm trying to. That's where I'm heading.
Dave, hurry up.
But you don't stop.
Hurry up, dude. Hurry up.
Trying. Hey, hurry
Do
up.
it.
So you get this match that's shortened, but then I gotta listen to honky love
Dave,
for I don't know 20 minutes. It's gonna waste my time, and we get a Mary Tyler Moe interview. She's a great sport about it, by the way. But we could have eliminated all of this. The Cadillac coming on the ring, which was great because we all know that's Diamond Dallas Page driving that Cadillac. That's pretty awesome.
What a pleasing person that Mary Tyler Moore is.
Absolutely, and what a fan she is of honky.
She'll be in LA, you can bet on it. Take a look at the pink Cadillac.
Beautiful pink Cadillac.
These two beauties. What are that, the Honkettes? Is that the Honkettes or what? I think it is the Honkettes.
But it takes forever to get the Cadillac down to the ring. They sing a shitty song that
so
nobody
bad.
cares about.
It's
and
so
then
fucking
the Bushwhackers
bad.
have to come down. You're going to top it with the Bushwhackers just eliminating guitars?
But not even that. We all knew who they were. Once they faced the hard camera, the whole crowd picked up on it. But Honky still had to go, wait a minute. That's Luke and Butch, the Bushwhackers. And I was like, no fucking shit, bro. Like, everybody can see it on the big screen.
I'm so mad at this.
Butch. Like,
why did I have to watch
God.
this if you're going to
bad.
shorten matches? I know I'm not too fond of that match of Boss Man and Akeem anyway, but Why? I would rather watch 5 minutes of
And
that than
that's
20
why-
minutes of this. Match number 12.
Anyway,
Rick
moving
Rude defeats Jimmy Snuka in 3 minutes, 59 seconds. I think I forgot to grade this one. I think I was so mad at what just happened before
D,
then.
this was a misuse of Rude. This was trash.
Yes.
Awakening coming up. There it is. Forget about it. It's over. It's all over.
Yes. You were right.
You make one mistake and you have to pay dearly when you're in there with the likes of Ramsey. Let's get the picture
Yeah, there you go.
Rude deserved better.
Agreed. Move on.
Rude deserved better, and he got better when he went to WCW. It's one of the few things WCW did in this era. They treated
Yeah, I
him
did
better
it
than
right with
WWF
Rick
ever
Rude.
did.
Craig, you with it on that? D, or you do
Yeah,
better?
D. Yep.
DDDFFF.
Warrior versus Hogan, title for title, final match of the night, 24 minutes, 51 seconds. I C plus that bad boy. You can yell at me all you want. Go ahead, Jess.
I give it a B plus. It's not as good as what I remembered.
It's not.
It's such a basic but effective match, though. Honestly, like Junior High Jess didn't want to believe Hogan was losing, but it was so telegraphed that he was losing. It's probably Hogan's best WrestleMania match besides The Rock. Because he, yeah,
You don't
because
think,
he.
You don't think,
I like
this
the
match against Savage is way
yeah,
better?
but I feel that was a little bit more Savage pushing the issue on that. I think Savage had a chip on his shoulder because he was losing. I think as far as let me rephrase that. It was Hogan's best match because of him, like because he led the show. I think Savage probably was all
Macho
over
controls
Hogan.
all of WrestleMania.
Yeah, Savage is probably, and Savage is more athletic, so I think Hogan probably just said, "Yeah, do whatever you want to do.
Do whatever
Brad."
you want. I just gotta hook up at the end.
I'll keep
Fair
up
enough.
with you.
Fair enough. Gotcha.
But like Hogan literally had to carry Warrior through this whole match. He did not have to carry The Rock. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that Hogan did lead that match, and it was probably his greatest WrestleMania match ever. But here, like up to this point, this was like, for people who say that Hogan is not a good wrestler, I'm like, listen, you should probably go back and understand wrestling first of all. Then once you understand how pro wrestling works, go and watch Hogan and Warrior, because Warrior had no clue in front of 67,000 people, and he did well. And he showed up here and he did his part, and I'm not discounting the Warriors' performance here because two had to tango. But Hogan was, you could tell every time Hogan got him into a place, Hogan was talking to him a little bit. Not obvious, but just because I'm looking for it now. And I'm watching Hogan lead him on everything. Pat Patterson had a huge hand in this, obviously. And these guys, face versus face, they did everything right down the line. This
This is the first time.
This crowd made this match. Just like this same exact crowd made Hogan and The Rock, by the way. Same crowd. Because we reviewed this entire card coming up to here, and this match needed to pay off in more ways than one. And it really did. And Hogan passed the torch, and, just everything at the end is still surreal. To this day, I can still watch him missing the leg drop and Warrior hitting the splash, and watching that ref's hand. Hogan, this is the first time he was pinned clean since, 82, 81? Definitely since he came in WWF in '84. It says the only time he'd been cheated by Andre up until here, but that was the twin referee.
How much did the plastic surgery cost, brother?
That was the twin referee. But to see somebody pin him clean,
$100 bills
shoulders down for three. How much money did the Warriors spend, brother?
How much?
I don't want to go on too long, but I gave it a B plus because you know what? It's not the A that it should have been that we all remember it as, but it carried this pay-per-view. Hogan passed the torch expertly. He is a good worker. He's not a Flair or an Angle or a Michaels or a Brett. No, but he doesn't need to be. He did his job here, and he got a guy that was lesser than to one of the greatest WrestleMania moments that people still talk about to this day is the Warriors celebrating with both belts in the ring. That is because of Hogan.
It's a really cool, iconic moment.
Got him with the he nailed him. Here it is. He moved out of the way. Look out, the big splash. 1, 2. He got him. He got him. Unbelievable. The Warriors won the title. We have a new World Wrestling Federation champion. And new World Wrestling Federation champion, the Ultimate Warrior. This place has gone crazy.
I'm gonna say, especially based on on how we review matches on this particular podcast that we review them in context of the event itself and not in context of like the whole history of wrestling. And I think that's important to like reiterate, because for me on this match, I give it an A-, and I give it an A- because in context of this match in this time at that moment, that's everything that we wanted and everything that it was supposed to be. For the moment that it was, like, it wasn't, was it Flair and Steamboat? No. Was it Savage and Steamboat? No. Was it any countless amazing matches that we watched? No, but like iconically, like Andre and Hogan wasn't a great match either, but like I would argue in the emotional context of it, I would still give it an A-. So
I'll say I'll top Joe and say I'll give it an A. I think it's one of the top 5 matches of the first 10 years of WrestleMania. I think the performance of both these guys is probably the best match they both ever had with each other, or both ever had, period. Like the choreography.
For sure.
It was very much the Rock Hogan, Cena Rock, that kind of looking at the crowd, and that, like, Pat Patterson booked it perfectly. Compared to the other matches on the card, which was rushed and trying to force so many wrestlers and entire staff so they all make a WrestleMania payday. And they still elevated it and rose to the occasion, I think. Yeah, like, it has no business being an A, but for some reason, to me, it's still looking back like it was. And yeah, you don't want to see Hogan pass the torch, and you don't want to see, it was such a short-lived, and was it short-sighted? Maybe, but like, it just, for what it was, from test of strength to the passing of the torch and the little moment at the end with Hogan and the splash, and whether it was deserved or not, they did the best they could ever do with this feud and this final match, and I give it an A.
Who's the best, right?
And I'll go ahead and I'll kick off the grade for the entire pay-per-view, that I'll give a fucking C- for the rest of the pay-per-view. For the pay-per-view overall, giving Hogan Warrior an A, I'll give it C-. Yeah.
Yeah.
C- for the whole thing. What do you got, Joe?
Yeah, I'll go with that. C- for the whole thing.
Jesse Poo?
C-.
Ooh, you took it way down. Took it way down. Good. You should.
Did you say D- or C-?
He said
C-.
Oh, I thought you said D-.
I thought you said D as well. I was like, wow, Jess.
He was giving it the D.
Well, F.
Yeah, F it up. Yeah. So, good stuff. Let's take this home. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. On social media, can you do us a solid and give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019, or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. For Jess, Joe, Craig, this is Dave with the O.W.P signing off. Have a good one.